Hey guys, I'm going to go over some of the changes to the monks in patch 5.2. I'm going to give you my opinions on them, and most importantly, the reason behind these changes so you can get a greater understanding of the shortfalls of the monk class. This is, of course, the biggest buff to date in monk history. Okay, so first up, Deadly Reach talent has been removed, and this is now integrated with the existing paralysis ability. That means we can now cast paralysis from 20 yards standard. It's important to note that the spell properties of the paralysis ability have now changed as well. It's now a physical debuff, which means it cannot be grounded, dispelled, or even reflected, which is awesome. In replacement of this talent is a new talent called Ring of Peace, which is a brand new ability that you get. Now when you cast it on a friendly target or yourself, it creates an 8-yard sanctuary around that target for 8 seconds, and this will disarm all enemies and silence all enemies within it. So it's a complete shutdown. This does sound quite intense, but I can see how range classes can quite easily move out, and some melee classes have a natural reduction to disarm effects. Whether or not this still applies is yet to be attested. However, this is quite deadly against healers. 8 seconds is an eternity in PvP. A lot of our abilities have now had their chi cost removed. These include Chi Wave, Zen Sphere, Chi Burst, Tiger's Lust, and Touch of Karma. I'd say the direction for this really does come down to the fact that some of our abilities are so important that having a chi cost associated to it can really mean life or death. So now we can focus our chi on damage instead of having to use it on utility moves as well. A few other little changes: Chi Wave and Chi Burst now do 100% more damage and healing, and as a consequence of that, their cooldowns have increased. Zen Sphere now has a limit of 2 instead of 1 and detonates a little bit differently. The way it works now is if you're dispelled or you go below 35%, it will detonate then. Tiger's Lust can no longer be used on targets that have any other temporary speed increases active. That means you can't do things like this. Another big change is Dampen Harm can now be used while stunned. Now this is massive. When a warrior charges you and blows you up, or when a mage stuns you and just destroys you, you can now use Dampen Harm, so you can just laugh in their faces. I'm even thinking of switching to this now because this is big. So now we're going to get into the Wingwalker Changes. This is where the bulk of all the changes are coming from. So now we don't have Combo Breaker as a mastery effect. Combo Breaker has now become a passive ability, so we still get that free blackout kicks and tiger palms that we expect and are used to, and it comes at a pretty high chance anyway, so that's pretty cool. In replacement to our mastery, we now get Bottled Fury, which increases the damage bonus provided by our Tiger Eye Brew by 0.2% per mastery, which is incredible. This is a massive change. I think most people are going to switch to mastery instead of haste and crit. Other changes: Tiger Eye Brew now increases damage by 1%, down from 2%, but it is now improved through Bottled Fury, so you could probably get that back up to 2% anyway. They're changing the rate at which we generate Tiger Eye Brew charges. It used to be down to 2 chi per brew charge. Now they're making it 3 chi per brew charge, which still is pretty good. It means that we can generate a lot quicker than what we used to. And now Tiger Eye Brew charges will stack up to 20 instead of 10, but you can only use 10 charges that can be consumed per activation. Now this is pretty cool. This means that you can probably generate 20 and then use 10, and by the time that lapses, you'll probably have another 10 ready to go, so you could probably keep that up. In a PvE scene, you probably could keep it up 100%, but probably not so much in the PvP scene. Okay guys, now we're going to get into the good stuff. As soon as patch 5.2 hits, Windwalkers are going to get 2 new abilities. The first is Nimble Brew. When activated, it will remove all stun, fear, and root effects. And any of these effects that are reapplied to you are reduced by 60% within 6 seconds of using this ability. This is an incredible ability, and before people complain that we're getting a second trinket or it's OP, it's important to note that as Windwalkers, we don't have much of an answer if we're consistently controlled. Warriors with their powerful stuns, warlocks with their spammable fears, and mages with their infinite roots. We now have a way to counter this problem. Now I've saved the best for last, our new cleave ability, Storm, Earth, and Fire. How this works is you'll cast an elemental clone that sticks to your enemy target and mimics your abilities. You can cast up to a maximum of 2 clones. If you cast 1 clone, you and your clone will do 60% of your normal damage. If you cast 2 clones, each of you will do 40% of your normal damage, always resulting in an increase of 20% damage. So overall, you'll do 120% of the damage you do if you didn't have your clones out. The damage is spread between all your targets. You can only have 1 clone per target, but you can attack one of the targets that your clone is beating up. It's a very interesting ability, and I can't wait to test this out more. All of these changes may not go live, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.